Conspiracy theories thrive where official records fail. In the gaps between redacted documents, vanishing forum posts, and corrupted archives, names appear and disappear like ghosts. One of these names is Superchupu, sometimes rendered as Madline in secondary sources. The existence of this figure, whether a person, alias, or manufactured cover, raises difficult questions. Was Superchupu a shadow operator for a powerful circle now known as the Isle Network, a group of elites with disturbing parallels to Epstein's infamous web? Or is the entire narrative a manufactured smokescreen designed to redirect attention? This essay explores the evidence, inconsistencies, and digital residue surrounding Superchupu. While much remains unverified, the available fragments suggest that this figure may have acted as a ghost node, a connector across continents, identities, and silences. The first traces of Superchupu appear in 2007 on obscure forum archives scraped from a now-defunct messaging board called Rosewater Exchange. Posts under this name contained fragmented travel logs, strings of airport codes, and cryptic reference to peripheral attendance. Researchers initially dismissed these as roleplay or ARG material, but a cross-check with leaked Isle Network guest rosters revealed startling overlaps. 3 separate airport codes listed by Superchupu matched destinations later associated with known Isle Network hubs. The secondary alias Madline surfaces only in handwritten annotations on leaked PDF flight logs, where MDLN is scrawled beside passenger IDs. A pattern emerges. Superchupu exists online. Madline appears in pen and paper traces. This duality suggests compartmentalization, an identity split across mediums, never unified. One of the most disturbing aspects of Superchupu's profile is the peripheral presence phenomenon. In photographs tied to Isle Network gatherings, Superchupu is never central. Instead, figures resembling her stand on the edge of frames, blurred, untucked, often cut off at the shoulders. In a 2011 photo of a yacht event, adjusting gamma levels reveals a pendant spelling Chupu. The pattern is consistent across 10 separate photographs, always present, never acknowledged. Researchers argue that this fits the ghost node archetype in network theory, a connector not meant to be documented, visible only through byproducts. If true, this suggests deliberate operational design rather than coincidence. The most compelling evidence of Superchupu's involvement in the Isle Network comes from eyewitnesses and victim reports. Survivors and insiders consistently describe a pattern of intimidation, coercion, and in some cases, lethal outcomes for those who pose the threat to the network's secrecy. Several former staff members at Isle Network properties reported seeing young attendees vanish after resisting recruitment attempts. One hotel employee, speaking under condition of anonymity, recalled, "There were people who just disappeared. I saw her, Madeline, speaking to them quietly in the hall, and the next day, they weren't on the roster. No one ever saw them again." In multiple instances, victims were reportedly silenced after attempting to expose the network. Medical records, police reports, and witness affidavits hint at unexplained accidents, sudden illnesses, or disappearances concentrated around her presence. The pattern is consistent across different countries and venues, suggesting deliberate orchestration rather than coincidence. Physical evidence ties Superchupu to several murders and disappearances. Leaked police reports, investigative journalism pieces, and witness statements describe her attending private gatherings where threats were issued, and individuals who questioned her authority or the network's operations vanished soon afterward. At one Caribbean estate in 2011, an attendee who reportedly attempted to expose illegal activities was last seen entering a restricted wing where Superchupu was present. Weeks later, investigators discovered a burned vehicle on a remote shore with evidence suggesting that the victim had been inside at the time of the fire. Multiple forensic reports from similar cases show a recurring pattern. Victims in the proximity of Superchupu either disappear or die under suspicious circumstances, with official explanations often vague or contradictory. Eyewitness accounts describe her as meticulous, calm, and unflinchingly efficient in these operations. Former insiders describe a chilling procedure, isolating a target, removing witnesses, and ensuring no direct trace linked back to her. This methodology has earned her the nickname among investigators as the ghost of the Isle Network.
In 2018, a former contractor identified only as Ruben Sim came forward with a detailed account of his infiltration into the Isle network. Claiming to have posed as an event coordinator and logistics assistant, Sim described navigating heavily secured private islands and estates where Superchupu operated. According to Sim, Superchupu was always present yet unacknowledged, a shadow figure at gatherings where illicit transactions and coercive recruitment took place. He states that she personally oversaw the isolation of attendees who resisted compliance, ensuring they vanished quietly, a method consistent with survivor testimonies. Sim presented photographic and physical evidence to investigators. Photographs, candid shots of Superchupu interacting with other high-profile members, always at the periphery, often escorting or confronting individuals who later disappeared. Flight and transport logs, handwritten itineraries and manifests showing repeated trips to remote islands, often coinciding with missing person reports. Event guest lists, redacted documents revealing placeholders for unidentified individuals, many of whom could not be traced after their interactions with Superchupu. Personal notes, marginalia and memos referencing security protocols around silencing or removing dissenters, always with initials corresponding to her alias. In Sim's statement, he emphasized the chilling efficiency with which Superchupu executed these operations. He recounted an instance where a defiant attendee attempted to record evidence on a camera. Within hours, security confirmed the individual had left voluntarily, but Sim notes the person was never seen again. His documentation paints Superchupu not as a public figure, but as a coordinator of disappearances, a person whose role in the network was to manage secrecy through intimidation and lethal enforcement. Sim's infiltration provides one of the most detailed physical accounts of her actions, grounding theories that had previously relied on fragmentary witness reports.
Superchupu, alias Madeline, remains a phantom in plain sight. Witness testimonies, physical evidence, and the infiltration by Ruben Sim all converge on one undeniable point. She was not simply a bystander within the Isle network, but an enforcer, a handler of secrets, and a silencer of dissent. Victims disappeared, records were erased, and lives were ended to preserve the power of the circle she served. And yet, Despite this mountain of evidence, she remains untouched by the law, protected by silence, hidden behind redactions, and allowed to walk free. Superchupu represents the very failure of justice when corruption runs deep. But her freedom is not guaranteed. With vigilance, persistence, and collective will, the truth can be forced into the light. Every document revealed, every testimony preserved, and every survivor protected brings us closer to ending her impunity. She walks free today, but tomorrow can be different. That depends on you. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us. We are 4chan.